Good morning, everybody. This is Matthew at Needful Strings in Branson, Missouri. And today I'm going to show you a little bit of the hammered dulcimer. This particular setup behind me is for a 1211. And I will go over all of the specs regarding the instrument before we even start listening to it. So this video, I'm not going to have any sounds. There's no sounds involved. We just want to understand the layout of the land, okay? So I'm starting off with the 1211, and I do have a whole bunch of other sheets here too that will give you string gauges on various quantities of strings too, okay? For various hammered dulcimer setups. So today we're starting off with the 1211 string gauge chart. And the first thing that we notice on here is that there is a diagonal line and then there is a vertical line. What we have here is a bridge on the right side of the instrument, and we have a bridge on the left side, but it's in the middle of the instrument. You also see that I have the alphabet on 3 sections. This side does not have the alphabet, but there is technically string there, and you can hit your hammers on that side if you desired to. I always tell people it sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of a feel. It's like kind of ominous Black Pearl feel. Then we go straight into the lowest notes in this diagonal, the middle sounding notes, which some of them are here as well. And then we have the upper sounding notes, which these guys down here will sound like these guys up here, basically. Okay, it's in the same octave range. Feel free to take a picture of this diagram. That is, if you can see it in the screen. I'm pretty sure you can. Let's look at some more things about this chart. Okay, so you see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little circles. You see those little circles? Those are like little dot markers on a guitar. They're just kind of helping you figure out where you are on the instrument, okay? It's going to be an easier thing to find your major scales, for example. In fact, let's just work with this middle section here and say that we want to look at all the stuff in blue right here, okay? I want to play a song in the key of G. The key of G has a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and a G. Well, if we look at this very center blue square, we have a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Well, look at this. There's a circle there, and there's a circle there. Basically, exactly where those G's are. One's on the left and one's on the right. So, you could say, my major scales are going to be 4 up, and then on the other side 4 up. Only if you are starting with that dot marker. That's one of your major scales. Get this. If I said A, B, C, D, and then I go on the other side and say E, F sharp, G, A, you just did a minor scale. All you did was shift your stuff up. That's it. You kept the same pattern, but you just changed the mood. You made it from happy to sad. Okay. Surely there's more than just one octave of that key of G. There sure is. If you start at the very bottom here, this is the lowest note in this chart, the 1211. This is a G right now. So let's go up 4, G, A, B, C. Well, if we continue going up, we're going to actually break the scale. So we got G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, that is a major scale, but it's not the major scale that we use in this century often. That scale is called mixolydian. It's what the Irish and the Celtic music is all about. It's like your folk music. A lot of folk music will use mixolydian scale. So no, we're not going to go up. We need to go over. Okay, so just like we did here when we said G, A, B, C, and then we went over and did D, E, F sharp, G, same thing, but our little square or rectangle is tipped over this time. Okay, G, A, B, C. Now we go to the inside of that middle bridge, D, E, F sharp, G. We just got our low G scale. So that means we just found 2 octaves. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That's 2 octaves. Let's see if we can go further. Well, since we're on the highest point, the only way we can go is up. G, A, B, C, D. That's a half of an octave. You have 2.5 octaves of the key of G, which is amazing. So guys, there are tons of scales in this hammered dulcimer setup alone. Like, it would probably take a few minutes to go over all of those different scales, especially if you didn't know what a Dorian and a Phrygian and an Aeolian and a Locrian and, you know, Mixolydian and an Ionian, all these different scales. If you didn't know what those were, it would take forever to go over that. So, basic setup here. 2.5 octaves of G and everything else within it. The notes that we see on here, you do have an A flat, which the A flat is your G sharp. Okay. Let's see here. Do we have a B flat? We sure do. There's a B flat there. C. How about a C sharp? Yes. C sharp is the same thing as a D flat, so that's why you don't see a D flat in here. Then let's see here. We have a D. We have a, how about a D sharp? So a D sharp is the same as the E flat. So is there an E flat in here? I do not see an E flat at all in this diagram. So that's one note that you do not have, except right here. How about that? Look at this, guys. If you needed that E flat, you have a D sharp right up at the top there, and it's interchangeable. Some people will have that as a C. Other people will have that as that D sharp or E flat. So you have the E flat and D sharp. Then, of course, we got the E, we have the F, F sharp. Okay, how about G flat? Well, G flat is your F sharp, okay? And then, of course, we have our G. So you have every single note in here. Some of them just show up one time. For case in point, that D sharp there is an E flat. Okay, let's go over one more thing, and that will be the string gauges, because this is something you will need to know when you have somebody else put your strings on for you if they don't have a clue as to what they need to do. Of course, you can always come to me. That's perfectly fine. But then what we have here, if we're looking at the string gauges, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write all this down in like this area here. I'll go ahead and do this, and then I'll do that. So we're going to write everything in those little areas. So we have only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different gauges of strings, okay? That's it, just 5 different gauges of strings. And let's see here, I'm going to go ahead and get that because that is a robocall. We love those. Okay. All right, so G and A, those are going to be 24s. That's 0.024 basically, okay? 0.024, and there's another 0.024. those are the only strings that need the .024. And that's 4 of those strings because you're duplicating them, right? Okay, so let's go to the B. The B is a 22. So we have a 22. The C is a 22. Then we have, let's see here, the D and the E are 20s. So D is a 20, E is a 20. Then we have the F and G and A are 18s. So this is an 18, that's the F, the G is an 18, and the A is an 18, okay? And we have a 16 for the B flat, and then we have a 14 for that C or D sharp. Okay. That covers the bass bridge right there, okay? So if you guys ever need somebody to put your strings on for you, that's the bass side. Now let's go ahead and do the treble side. So we have here the C sharp and the G sharp. We need a 22. The D and the A, you also need a 22. So .022 and then .022. Okay, the B and the C sharp, you need a 20. So we have a .020 and a .020. So that G and D right there, this part right here, it says we need an 18. The E and A is an 18, and the F sharp and B is an 18. So we have .018, .018, and .018. Okay, now we're at the G. The G to C, the A to D, the B to E, those are all 16s. So we have a .016, .016, .016. Then we have the C to F and the D to G are both 14s. So we have a .014 and a .014. Again, take a picture of this, guys, for your records if you have a hammered dulcimer or if you are just getting into it, okay? It looks like a whole lot of mess up here, but I promise you, if you take a picture of this, you will be happier. Now, again, this is for a 12-11, and that means, and I'll go ahead and show you this again here too, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bass strings. And you can remember 11's in the denominator, okay? And you multiply that by 2, so you have 22 strings in the bass. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 strings in the numerator. Multiply that by 2. You have 24. So now you have, 46. Is that, yeah, so you have 24 and 22. That's 46 strings total with a 12-11 hammered dulcimer. Guys, I think this is enough information for you for about almost 15 minutes worth of time. If you have any questions regarding your hammered dulcimer, please contact me. I do put strings on for people. It does take a while, so like if I can hold on to your instrument for like a week, that's perfectly fine. I'd be glad to do that for you. Now, there are some hammered dulcimers that are too far gone, and I would have to have the instrument in hand to be able to make my final decision whether it's worth putting the strings on. But once I put the strings on, there's no turning back. We have to just stick with that because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of labor. Guys, if you have any other questions, give me a holler. My phone number is 417-334-1395, and my website is www.needfulstringsllc.com. And then also on my website, you can find Masterworks and Songbird hammered dulcimers for sale. You guys have a fantastic, blessed day. and I'll see you in the next video.